It's finally time to start firing up the grill. From city to shore, Acme is everything you need to prep for this summer season. Download the Acme app to shop for this season's essentials any way you want. Open the Acme app, clip your deals, then order your items online. An experienced Acme associate will carefully select your groceries, bag your order, and bring it right to your car or deliver right to your door. Download the app or visit acmemarkets.com for program details.
Hi there, I am Adam Kirbas. This is another episode of my podcast. I am here in Ordu, a Black Sea town in Turkey. We are still in the pandemic. It is an cloudy August day in Ordu. I hope that you all are doing fine and that you take care of yourselves. This is going to be the last episode. I want to talk about screenwriting in that, not about screenwriting, but about character arcs. Of course, there is a lot of we could talk about, and I can only warmly recommend this YouTube channel, The Take. It is really very inspiring, very interesting. So everyone who wants to get to know more about character analysis should definitely check out this YouTube channel, The Take. It helped me to prepare some of my thoughts and so on. And after today's episode, I announced it. I want to record another story, which I think is pretty much suitable. This is audio. Books is a growing market segment, and we want to delve into it, want to be present, and so on. And today I will partially continue what we talked about in the last time, as well as in a way recap. We were our big topic was, of course, masculinity, and what we talked about before that was this gender. So I tried to in a way explain character arcs in famous TV shows and movies with this character arcs. Of course, we have to make a difference. This is what I did not mention in the beginning, that there's of course a difference between character arcs, how a character is, and then between plots. I think Kurt Vonnegut wrote a little bit of about plot arts, how plots are generated or built in general. Of course, we have to be aware of one thing. In TV shows as well as in movies, there's always a recurring theme of movie plots. If you want, one great source is Shakespeare. If you only watch Romeo and Juliet, this is the recurring theme throughout all the movies. And because theater and especially Hollywood is very influenced by Shakespeare, by English theater, of course, they play a crucial role, as well as in, if you want, Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. This always occurs in a theme or another. And as well as, what you, in a way, recently, what we always see, some sort of this American high school drama. In that sense, this is, for example, high school musical with Vanessa Hutchins and Zac Efron. There again, you have some sort of this quarterback, this American, if you want, this hope of American, this American youth, and this then tries to accomplish something for her father, for her team in general. So you have a lot of these high school themes which some sort of are dominating the entire youth culture of our generation, and this is particularly in America, or from America, because in continental Europe you watch these kind of things rather or they are rather an auditory, because in Europe people play soccer, and in Europe there is not a very strong presence of the sport in the school. No, in Europe this is rather, if you are a passionate soccer player, and if you play or want to play in a youth club or whatever, so then this is mostly not organized through the school or through the high school. No, they are private clubs and so on. So there is a lot of difference between them. However, but they are pretty much dominating. And this structure, for example, there is one cheerleader who is some sort of the head cheerleader, and she is in odds with all others. I mean, this is what you some sort of have through all TV shows. I mean, this is what you have in OC, California. This was a TV show with Benjamin McKenzie and Misha Barton. This is something as well as you have with High School Musical, but here it is basketball. Then you have this even in Vampire Diaries, so on and so on. So this plays a crucial role, and there's pretty much always the same theme in a way. There's always in a way a new girl, and she always has to decide between two admirers and so on. You have this in Smallville, for example, as well. So this is no new plot line. This is rather some sort of West Side Story, and this is as well as you have in this vampire mythology, if you want, with Edward and Bella. This high school drama plays a crucial role, and it's pretty much the same plot line. However, we have to differentiate this, how the structure of this plot line is from real character arc, how substantial they are, and especially in TV shows like Mad Men, like Breaking Bad, The Wire, and so on. There you have some character arcs which in a way represent a generation. They appear genuinely, or at least thought through, if you want. Of course, sometimes they pretty much follow cliche. For example, the TV show Nip Tuck with Julian McMahon, and I forgot the other one, but with those two plastic surgeons. I mean, this TV show, for example, follows a lot of stereotypes and so on, so nothing new occurring, and so on and so forth. However, we did not talk much about plotline because I think there is a lot of out there. There's, again, you have to skim through from YouTube channels. There are some good TV channels which analyze a plotline. There are even a couple of approaches to plotline. Again, I mean, we started our journey from the point. I mean, if you have a TV show as well as a movie, I mean, how do you structure scenes? I mean, which scene follows another? I mean, we started with Batman, The Dark Rises. Of course, there's a lot of material material about Batman the Dark Rise in YouTube, where you can find plenty of. And this, of course, is as well as very interesting and very helpful to analyze the Dark Knight, because so many people have made their thoughts about it and so on, as well as of Game of Thrones. There are some very interesting analysis of Game of Thrones as well. I mean, in general, however, in general, my approach was always to some sort of analyze here. What do people want to see? What do you see yourself in? Or what is a character you can identify yourself with? And then, of course, this keeps people glued to the TV. So no matter, I said this before and I will say this again, I mean, so this illusion that you would just be some sort of an artist who just sits in a room and waits for the muse to kiss him or waits for a good idea. Well, this is an illusion. I mean, you should, in my opinion, even though this may sound horrific, you should of course think about or have an economic approach to screenwriting, to short stories whatsoever, and there of course you want to figure out, I mean, what is something people would feel close to, and this is what we want to. If you are a good writer, especially if you want to be a successful writer, you should in a way always regard this as well. Of course, some of you will say, yeah, well, isn't it all about what's in your novel? Isn't it what you want to some sort of share, or the information you want to share with people? Yeah, but this is, if you want the information you want to share with people, or what the story you want to tell with tell to people will be heard, or people will listen to you if you know how to wrap it up properly, if you know how to sell it, if you want. I mean, I'm in that sense, I'm not very successful so far, so I don't have many readers. I hope this will change in the future. However, but in a way, because of this one fall, this of course that you want to some sort of think about, yeah, why for example is Harry Potter so successful? I mean, and then if you watch the plot line of Harry Potter, I talked about this as well in the beginning of this podcast. Then if you watch Harry Potter, then you see, of course, this is some sort of place to people to be outcast. I mean, Harry Potter, he sleeps under the stairs. He is not very very liked, and then or his step or this family with whom he lives, they don't like him, they hate him, they don't want him to become a wizard, and so they hamper him in that sense. And this is what people then feel or associate with themselves, that there are people who hamper with my success, people who put obstacles in my way, and so on. And there is a new world behind them, beyond their if you want, wildest imagination. So this world where Harry Potter is not just a nobody, but where he is someone. And this again plays into this narcissistic world or as well as in our daily lives. I mean, if you live an ordinary, boring life, and then of course you in a way imagine that you would be someone else also, or that you are, if you perceive yourself as dull, as boring, of course you want to imagine a world where you are the hero, because this is what Harry Potter is about. He's a star, he's well known, he survived Lord Voldemort's attack on his family. He's special. He has a scars and so on. He's rich. He's famous. And if you then see it from this perspective, then you see this is actually someone who aspires to be famous, or this is what people would like in Harry Potter, see themselves in Harry Potter. So this is this nobody, and then it turns out to be some sort of if you want a star, a well-known wizard or something as this is what you have in Oliver Twist, as well as with Charles Dickens, where Oliver Twist, who went through hell, he's been taking advantage of, and then in the end it turns out he's the son of a nobleman, nobility as well as, and this is again some sort of reoccurring theme. I mean that there are a lot of or some movies of girls who just live from day to day, and then they figure out or find out that they are of noble blood, that they are special, that they are not ordinary, that they are more than it seems. I mean, this is what you have in Gilmore Girls as well, with Rory, who lives with her mother in the beginning, with her mother in the beginning, some sort of away from this world of wealth, of the upper class. So she lives in a small suburban area. She is far away, and then more and more she gets some sort of is being introduced in this world of wealth, of if you want, Cinderella world, and then she rediscovers herself. She some sort of finds new aspects of herself, and then she fails and or wins and so on. So this story from Aschenbrödel, this is a very famous tale in Germany, Aschenbrödel, where she is some sort of, again, this has a lot of, if you want, or the theme is very similar to Harry Potter, where Aschenbrödel, she's some sort of this girl who is living with her stepmother and with her stepsisters, but they some sort of treat her badly. She has to do all the home chores. She's been taken advantage of and so on. She's been hated, and then there's a ball. There's a ball where she's not invited in, but then she finds a very magic twig, and then she has 3 wishes and so on, and then she can enter the ball, and there she meets her king or her prince. There she meets her prince, and there she can some sort of outshine all the others. You have some sort of this recurring theme in Harry Potter as well. I mean, Harry Potter wants to join Hogwarts, but his family or the people with whom he lives, they do everything to prevent him from accomplishing that. They are mean to him, they treat him badly, but then he in a way always manages to reach Hogwarts, this school where he's not a nobody anymore, where he's Harry Potter, the wizard, or the boy who survived this attack of Lord Voldemort. I mean, this is some sort of this recurring theme you have throughout this TV movies, tales, and so on. tales have actually a lot of common with movies and so on. I mean, this is we talked about this in masculinity as well. I mean, why, for example, Donald Draper may be appealing to some people. Why some female? I mean, especially with Sex and the City, why some female characters may be appealing to some viewers. This as well as with Harry Potter, this becomes then pretty much apparent. I mean, this is if you if you want to talk about it from a sociological perspective. Again, I mean, we had the story of Aschenbrödel, where she's some sort of an outsider. She has or her step parents, they don't like her, they don't love her, and her step sisters, they some sort of are mean to her, and they are all ugly, and they don't want her to join this ball and meet the prince, because the prince is looking for a girl. This is, I mean, some sort of, this is something you can understand. Firstly, this is rather someone who goes through adolescence. So this is what mostly adolescent people would think about it. I mean, there's someone who is openly holding me back, and so on. Then this development, so especially when you're an adolescent, your body develops, and you become a new adult. You some sort of compete with other adolescents. With boys, this always becomes very aggressive. With girls, as far as I witnessed, it is rather some sort of subtle, non-violent, but verbally violent in that sense. So it is not physically violent, but verbally in that sense. And there you have these things. So this huge obstacle, something which prevents you from becoming happy, be something which prevents you from accomplishing something, and so on. Of course, this plays into this narration, into this worldview, that you do not get what you want, and there are evil people who want to prevent you from being or becoming who you are. This is what you see in Harry Potter as well as with Malfoy and so on. So they hate him, they hate Harry for what he is, because he is a half muggle and so on. So they some sort of fraud his accomplishments, and what you have in Harry Potter as well as, I mean, this is especially because he did not join Slytherin. So this there is some sort of this self-perception of good and evil. This always plays a crucial role, because of course, if you're an adolescent, you not only think that you are the center of the world, no, you as well as think of yourself as good, as someone who is not only good, but the world in a way depends on you. This is again what you see with Harry Potter, because Harry Potter is pretty much the center of it all. So everything revolves around him. I mean, of course, everyone will say, yeah, the stories about Harry Potter. Of course, everything has to revolve around him. However, we should not forget that this is a young child, a young boy who fights all by himself against one of the most sophisticated wizards during his time. This again has some sort of, if you want, near, or it is again have some sort of emulates this adolescent attitude that you have to compete with others, or that you some sort of enter the world of the adults, and there you have to fight all these creatures and so on, and you become pretty much successful, and you alone in a way can accomplish that. So if you then put everything together, especially of Harry Potter, then this is a little boy who is the center of the world. Everything depends on him. Without him, you cannot accomplish anything, and worst of all, no one thanks him. He's to be pitied because his parents are dead, and he lives under the stairs with people who don't like him, with people who wanna prevent who he is, and so on. So this is where you pretty much see this is how egocentric this then really is. But it works in that way, and it really plays into this adolescent narration in those people who are watching them or reading these books, because it is some sort of narcissistic self, or it is some sort of what people imagine of themselves in that sense. This is as well as with what we talked about with this is normal in that sense. So this is not only within adolescence, but this is what you in a way perceive. For example, we talked about this with Grey's Anatomy, with those Afro-American actors, why they may have so much appeal among Afro-Americans. And then one thing, of course, was that you are disadvantaged. You are being held back, and this is real. This is not something you imagine. So this is not something which a little boy from the middle class concocts, who doesn't get enough attention from his parents. No, this is real. If you want, this is that Afro-Americans, they suffer, and then they live through Grey's Anatomy, through these free Afro-Americans. They some sort of live this imagination that if we had the chance, we would be better than all the others if we just had the chance. Excuse me. If we just would have the chance, we would accomplish more than all these others. This is in a way human. And if you have, and if you are disadvantaged, if you don't have means to solve yourself, this is one of the reasons why people create counter cultures. We talked about this in multiculturalism, but these counter cultures, they all re-emerge as well, because these archetypes of these counter cultures, they play always, or in a way, a very crucial part in how we see what we like, what we watch, what we aspire, and so on. If you are, for example, if you are being considered as stupid, as dumb, this is, for example, in Austria and Germany, the people from the Middle East are being considered as stupid, as dumb, as backward. We talked about this. Then, of course, you always respond with your counter culture, that you some sort of put yourself on a moral high ground, on a moral pedestal, so that you can compete with people, especially if you lack the resources, if you did not attend or could not attend higher education. But even beyond that, one thing you have of course, this is, I always say this is some sort of a migrant sickness, and I think Pierre Bourdieu wrote about this in his sociological researches as well. I mean, if you have been considered as stupid, or if your migrant group is being considered stupid, of course you want to present yourself as smart. You want to, act smart. I mean, this is some. I mean, I saw some very stupid things, like people, even though they don't need glasses, wear glasses and act like stupid. I mean, this is of course very stereotypical, so that they act in a way where they assume people are or how smart people would act like. I mean, I was surprised, and it is really interesting to watch these people, because then you might see, I mean, what someone who is, for example, away from, or who did not grow up in a environment where a lot of academics were, or if you want, in an environment where education played a key role, and I mean higher education, and then you see, and if you watch these people, I mean, who what they assume with intelligence, with smarts, with wits, and then these are sometimes things you do not put much emphasis on it, but yet for these people they play a crucial role. I mean, this can be from ostentatiously pondering. I mean, this is really the case that some people in a way want to appear as if they would be thinking, even though, well, do not make fun of this. This is really very interesting, even sociologically very valuable to understand this and so on, and as well as I mean, we talked about migrant women. I mean, and there as well, especially in Austria, as well as in Germany. I mean, one thing is, of course, if you put yourself on a moral high ground, on a pedestal, one thing of course strikes you, that you, especially if Austrian and German women are being considered as whores, then as a migrant woman you want rather be perceived as homely, as a woman who has values, who does not jump into bed with anyone and with anyone and so on. So these pictures and so on, they play all a crucial role. This is what you have in country versus a city as well. I mean, country women, they rather want to be, or there's some sort of this general perception of country women are, or women from the countryside are, that they are some sort of homely, down to earth, and some in a way masculine, because apparently they have learned apparently life on the countryside demands from people to be tough. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, I grew up in the countryside. The only thing you had to get used to was the weather. However, but this is still in the popular imagination that people perceive themselves in a way, but as well as so that the girls from the countryside, they are not like those city dwellers who just party every day, have a lot of sexual adventures and so on. No, the girls from the countryside stays at home is very family oriented and so on. And this is what you have with migrants and so on as well. And this again plays into the role, and this is what you have in Grey's anatomy as well. I mean, so with some characters like April, who is very religious, family bound, and so on. So this is what we aspire as well, and what we think about as valuable as well, and what we desire. I mean, of course, if you grow up in a migrant setting, or if you grow up in a setting where you are being considered, or your existence are being considered negatively, then of course you will act or try to act in a way where you want to conceal this. I mean, this is what I discovered by many Turkish migrants in Austria and in Germany. I mean, of course you feel embarrassed. I mean, these people call you in your face that you are some sort of underneath them, that you are subordinated, that you are minor, and so on. And then of course you conceal yourself, and I talked about this as well. I mean, that you some sort of see yourself through the eyes of them, through the eyes of the host country, and then you try to act against it, try to preserve some sort of a new image, or an image that would be different from that, and so on. And this then plays in what you watch, what you see, and what you favor. I mean, this is where preferences actually are created and have a huge impact on what you perceive as desirable as, and so on. So do not underestimate this. This plays a crucial role, and if we see this, and I hopefully I showed this in this analysis of TV shows and movies, that this plays indeed a crucial role. So because we watch a lot of movies, we watch a lot of TV shows. Back in the days, our parents and grandparents, they would read a lot. So back in the days it was common to read a lot, but nowadays, I mean, everyone is watching movie, and these movies and TV shows, of course, help us as well as to identify ourselves. I mean, we have some sort of desires like madmen. I mean, you have of course a desire to be this strong man who some sort of fulfills the prophecy of being a man, to be in charge, to have a lot, to be sexually potent, to accomplish a lot. But of course, in the other hand, you are struggling with yourself because society puts a lot of pressure on you to be in a certain way, to be like that, and this of course has some sort of a negative side on you. This is as well as you have with women. I mean, this is what we talked about as well. I mean, you see, this is for a fact that there are still men have privileges. You see that you are not being treated equally, and this does not mean law. I mean, still there is still a big gap in the law, but as well as in the society, in the minds of people. This is what I saw in the university within the left. I mean, they are all for equality, but you see in the way they are thinking, in the way they are acting, that they still some sort of are backward, and this of course is disturbing. This of course some sort of is hampers your accomplishments. This is holding you back, and then you some sort of try to free yourself, relieve yourself, and so on. And then you have some or need in a way some heroes you can look upon them. And again, I'm in Sex and the City. I mean, we talked about with Miranda. I mean, she seems to be this woman which epitomizes feminism. But if you watch closer, then you see that female emancipation comes with a sacrifice, and that this ideal feminist emancipation, if you want, would be some sort of cementer, but this is in a way a hoax, or this is in a way what women imagine man would be, but there's some sort of I think the equality, or let's put it other way, so the character of Samantha seems to be this female or this ideal female which can match male desire, and so but this is again like in Gone Girl, this good girl. This is some sort of an imagination. So this it is not reality. And if it is, then it is only a wish, because society would not allow it, and there would be a lot of repercussions which would come with it. But if you then see with Miranda, I mean, of course you can accomplish independence. Of course you can become whatever you want, but then you have to adopt to male gender. You have to some sort of you become a homogeneous product of the business world, and this is then necessary to become successful, to be someone, and to move ahead in your life, and so on. So is it, and this is what then you have to ask yourself, is it really, is what in Sex and the City, Miranda, is it really emancipation? Is it really what you should aspire for, or the same what you have to ask yourself with Mad Men? I mean, if this, or being a man, or the demand society has on you, if this is so exhausting, if you have to live a doubled life where you always have to doubt yourself. I mean, this is what you have to what we talked about in Breaking Bad. I mean, you had high hopes, high aspirations, but then you some sort of a fall through the clouds. You did not accomplish what your own goals are. You are Walter White, and you want to provide for your family. You want that this male recognition. This is what we were talking about. You want this male recognition. You want to be recognized as a man, but then you cannot accomplish it, and then you have to ask yourself, can't I just abandon it? Can't I say, however, I don't care anymore? Is this even possible? The same is as well as with women. Can I just live a life like Samantha in Sex and the City? Just have fun like a man? Does it make you shallow? Does it make you sad? I don't know. This is what we thinking about, should be thinking about, and so on. So it is not only what I want to put an emphasis on, is that this is not only women suffer under a certain gender or in a certain role model, but as well as men suffer, because people have still demands on you. Because if everyone thinks that you are privileged, then go ahead. I mean, everyone will demand a wonder, but then if you find out, well, this person is actually not that privileged. However, this was the end This was Adem Kebas from Urdu. We are still in the pandemic. I hope that you are doing fine and that you take care of yourself and enjoy your August month, summer.
It's finally time to start firing up the grill. From city to shore, Acme is everything you need to prep for this summer season. Download the Acme app to shop for this season's essentials any way you want. Open the Acme app, clip your deals, then order your items online. An experienced Acme associate will carefully select your groceries, bag your order, and bring it right to your car or deliver right to your door. Download the app or visit acmemarkets.com for program details.